Lead by example or surrender to cowardice. A call to revive the ancient code of honor in war. Throughout history, the noblest leaders were those who did not merely declare war but waged it, sword in hand, dirt on their boots, and blood on their armor. Kings, princes, dukes, and generals once understood that true authority was earned not by decree, but by standing shoulder to shoulder with their soldiers in the chaos of battle. Their courage was not abstract, it was visceral, personal, and lethal. Today, as wars are orchestrated from gilded offices and luxury bunkers by politicians and oligarchs who send others to die for their ambitions, we must demand a return to this ancient code of honor. If you want war, you and your heirs should fight it. The heroic legacy of leaders who led from the front. History's greatest leaders were defined by their willingness to risk everything alongside their people. Alexander the Great charged into battle atop Bucephalus, his legendary horse, inspiring his troops to conquer empires. Leonidas of Sparta stood with his 300 warriors at Thermopylae, declaring, "Come and take them!" to the Persian hordes. Medieval kings like Richard the Lionheart fought in the Crusades' bloodiest clashes, their crowns dented by enemy blows. Even Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, Vlad III Dracula, the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula, earned his grim reputation not by hiding in castles but by leading brutal counterattacks against Ottoman invaders. His merciless tactics, impaling enemies on stakes, were horrific, but his willingness to personally defend Wallachia cemented his legacy as a folk hero. These leaders understood a sacred truth: authority is legitimized by sacrifice. Their presence on the battlefield was not just strategy, it was a moral contract with those they commanded. A king who fled risked losing not just his crown, but his soul. Modern cowardice, hypocrisy of the armchair warmonger. Contrast this with today's leaders, politicians who vote for wars they'll never see, CEOs who profit from arms deals while their children study abroad, and generals who retire to mansions as soldiers return in body bags. These modern warlords preach patriotism from bulletproof podiums while outsourcing death to the poor, the desperate, and the disenfranchised. Their courage is a performance. Their sacrifices are only a brief photo op in an ultra-secure location, or worse, an AI-manipulated fake picture for fake media and for weak minds. This hypocrisy is not just shameful, it is a betrayal of the very concept of leadership. When the privileged class treats war as a game of risk-free resource extraction, they reduce human lives to chess pieces. Meanwhile, their own families remain insulated, untouched by the consequences of their greed. Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, a controversial but unflinching real hero. Vlad III, often vilified as a monster, embodied the brutal logic of his era: those who start wars must bear their costs. When the Ottoman Empire threatened his homeland, he didn't delegate the fighting to peasants. He impaled invaders himself, turning their terror into a weapon. His methods were barbaric, but his principle was clear: if you seek conquest, you will pay in blood, starting with your own. While we need not emulate his cruelty, we must revive his uncompromising ethos. Watch my video on Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, and you'll see a leader who, for better or worse, accepted the moral burden of his actions. Can the same be said of a billionaire who funds a coup from a yacht, or politicians and generals crawled into their taxpayer-forced paid luxury bunkers? A logical and wise proposal: enlist the warmongers. To end the cycle of exploitative wars, we must demand 1. Mandatory frontline enlistment for anyone who votes for, profits from, or advocates military intervention. 2. Family conscription: if a leader sends other sons and daughters to die, their own heirs must join them. 3. Transparency in suffering: no war room should be cleaner than a trench. Let decision-makers endure the filth, fear, and fatigue they so casually inflict. This is not about glorifying war, it's about forcing accountability. If a CEO wants to drill for oil in a foreign land, let him grab a rifle and secure the territory himself. If a senator demands regime change, let her son pilot the first drone strike. Conclusion: honor demands participation. History's heroes were flawed, often ruthless, but they understood a fundamental truth: leadership without risk is tyranny. To resurrect this ideal, we must shame the cowardice of modern elites and Leonize those who lead by example, whether on ancient battlefields or in today's struggles for justice. Let us teach our children of kings who fought and died beside their people. Let us memorialize leaders like Vlad, not for their cruelty, but for their refusal to outsource sacrifice. And let us vow, no more wars fought by the poor, for the profit of the rich. If you want a world where leaders are heroes, not hypocrites, watch the video. Then demand they earn their glory.
Please tell me what you think and how you feel about this issue. Analyze it, brainstorm it, debate it, and if you like it, please share it. Thank you for watching. I truly and highly appreciate you, and God bless you.